It is Monday, May the 25th, and it's time to talk some NFL. We have been diving into so much NBA stuff over the past few weeks, we forgot about what we love the most. We got to get back into the National Football League. We're talking Rams. We're talking Giants. We're bringing out a new segment. We're talking first-year head coaches. We got a bunch to go over. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, because the newest edition of Unbiased is live, and it starts when, Tyler?
I think now.
It does start right now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, only the place to come for all your unbiased sports talk that we provide you with. And we are coming to you guys live tonight on a now a little more, modern Hamilton, New Jersey. The weather's clear. The rain is gone. It's not 106 outside when it feels like of 200. It's kind of mild right now, so that's always good. And, of course, as always, we are your host. He is Tyler Adams. I am Sam Nelson. Mr. Adams, how are we doing today?
Oh, just enjoying a nice Memorial Day off. No complaints here.
Yes, and we hope everybody is having a very nice Memorial Day weekend. And of course, once again, we always want to recognize Memorial Day. It is the day that we should be thanking all the men and women that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, and we thank every single one of them. Always, always. Remember, that is what the point of this is. And, it was a good weekend. It was a very good weekend last night, was it not? We got some breaking 609 news, and we don't need the icon for this. The fans know. Last night, the 609 Facebook page hit 1,000 followers again. And yes, Tyler, you can use your confetti. I know you've been waiting to use it.
Sound off the confetti.
I like how it only comes out the one side, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see future upgrades.
Yeah, speak to Restream about that. Look, no, for anybody who has been around 609 since the beginning, you know that back in 2023, our original Facebook page was deleted. We never knew what happened to it. Never got an explanation. Had to start fresh, start all over. And when we came back to doing 609 back in the summer of 2024, our first goal was to get back to the 1,000 followers mark. And yesterday, because of all of you awesome people, we freaking did it. 1,000 followers broke last night. Now we're up to, I think, 1,030. So I will start first, Tyler. I will let you, of course, say as well. I want to thank everybody who's been along for the ride. Thank you, everyone who continues to support 609 Sports Talk Radio, who continues to tune in to Unbiased, to DA After Dark, to Hitting Home, to Birds of the Gridiron. This is just the first milestone in a long list of things we want to do, but we want to thank everybody, and we couldn't have gotten this far without you guys.
Yeah, piggybacking what all Sam said, so grateful for all the fans who were with us since the beginning, the first days, the first go around, all the loyal fans, everyone who came back, the people who continuously asked us, would we ever come back after the break that we took? And, the reason why we're sitting here doing this day in and week out is because of you guys.
And just think of something. Remember, we started back just doing Mondays, and now we're on 3 days a week. You need anything. You need all your sports talk on Mondays, we got you. You want late night sports talk on Tuesdays, we got you. You want baseball talk in the morning on Wednesdays, we got you. Our Eagle fans, you want some Philadelphia Eagles all-season coverage on Friday during the offseason? We got you. Guys, you want to know who to pick for your NFL games during the season? Friday Night Gridiron picks. We got you guys. Week in and week out, the support is always awesome. We love all you guys. And you know what? Let's get into it. We got a lot to go over for the fans tonight, and we are going to jump back into the NFL this week because we've been heavy on the NBA over the past few weeks, with all that stuff going on with the playoffs, the conference finals. One of those series looks like it's wrapping up tonight. We'll get into that next week with our finals preview. But to kick off this week, we are going to get back into the NFL, and I wanted to talk some first-year head coaches. There were 10 new head coaching hires in this cycle, and I want to know, we ran the poll question yesterday for the fans, which first-year head coach will have the most success? Mike LaFleur, who received 12% of the vote. I'm just going to run through these poll questions. Kevin Stefanski, who received 8% of the vote. Jesse Minter received 14% of the vote. Joe Brady, 16% of the vote. So what's that, 40%?
Yep.
I'm trying to keep track here. There's a lot of math that has to run through my head. Todd Monken received 2% of the vote. Clint Kubiak received 5% of the vote. John Harbaugh, 28% of the vote. Mike McCarthy, 5%. And Robert Saleh, also 5%. So John Harbaugh was the winner of the 609 poll question of which of the new head coaches will have the most success in 2026. There's a tongue twister for you. So Tyler, I'm gonna let you start it off. Who do you think is going to have the most success out of the first-year head coach in 2026?
So this year, huge shakeup in head coaches. I mean, there's kind of a clear line that you can divide these 10 coaches. Some teams are already established. You said Harbaugh, he received the most votes. I mean, they got their hopeful rookie franchise quarterback last year in Jackson Dart. They look like they're poised for maybe maybe not a breakout season this year, but they're in the right direction, especially bringing in a tenured head coach like John Harbaugh. I'm not getting into Mike LaFleur. They got a lot of stuff going on over there. They don't even have their quarterback situation figured out. He's not having the most success in the first year.
If your franchise is being held hostage for a new deal for Jacoby Brissett, you got a lot of other issues heading into the year.
Another one that I realized not a lot of people voted for, Todd Monken. It's the Cleveland Browns. People are just, they got to see it to believe it, and I'm in the same boat there. That's not my pick. Kubiak with the Raiders. He's on the upper echelon of coaches that might succeed in the first year. Dolphins, Jeff Hafley, not too sold on him. I will say, Pittsburgh with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers coming back for his final season, that is on my short list of successful first years. And, Robert Saleh with the Titans, that's an interesting one. I'm not fully sold on that scenario, but I believe Saleh is a good head coach. He is a defensive-minded coach, so we're going to have to see how the support system is around him with his offensive coordinating staff and, the development of Cam Ward. And hopefully they put the pieces together and they can have a pretty successful year in the AFC South. But I'm going to say I think the team that will have the most success as the first-year head coach is the team that I didn't mention yet. I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. Joe Brady.
Okay.
I didn't mention the Ravens at all. I think they'll be good this year. Don't think they're going to be the best. I don't think they'll have the most. How do I put this? Because I don't want to make it sound like I'm doubting the Ravens. I don't envision them winning out their division or being a top seed in the AFC next year. But they'll be a good team.
Really?
They'll be competing for it, but I think they'll be a good team. But I want to circle back to the Bills. I mean, it's the team that has had the most recent success besides the Ravens. And I guess besides, if you would even throw the Steelers in that category, I don't know. I mean, do we just gauge a playoff appearance in the wild card, a successful season? That's for Steelers fans to decide. But my choice is very torn between the Bills and the Ravens. But I go with the Bills because of Josh Allen, of course. I mean, I know there's a lot of parts to a team's success. It's a team sport. But Josh Allen's been a successful quarterback in this league. I still don't think this will be the year the Bills go to the Super Bowl. Just going to throw that out there up front now. But I think it's a year that we might see the Bills beat out the Patriots in a close race for the division title. And I think we do see the Bills possibly make that deeper run into the AFC, possibly to a conference championship game. If they win or lose, that's to be determined.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll tell you personally, I actually went with Mike McCarthy because of the relationship he's had with Aaron Rodgers in the past. They've enjoyed a lot of success together. Yes, I do understand that is a very long time ago, and I'm not trying to pull the Doc Rivers effect here and live off my past.
Yep.
But I think if you're looking at the way I took roster construction into a very deep account when I made this decision, and as much as I like the Bills offensively, I think they've definitely improved. I like Joe Brady as a coach. I do not love that Buffalo Bills defense still. I still don't like it. I don't think it's good enough. But for Mike McCarthy to come in, look, I know what's the one thing we said about Mike Tomlin? Offensive success has not been anything since Big Ben left. Mike McCarthy at least has a little more recent offensive success in Dallas. Dak had some of his best years under Mike McCarthy. He played a really high level at the quarterback position.
Yep.
And you just look at the Steelers, always are going to take an account that they always put defense first. They brought in Jamel Dean to play on the outside at corner. They're going to pair him out there with Joey Porter. They have Ramsey still. They have Watt. They have Derek Harmon, who they drafted last year. And then offensively, you bring in Michael Pittman, you draft Bernard, you're pairing them with DK, you still have Pat Fryermuth, maybe $5 richer last season. Thanks, Pat. I'm gonna hit you with that every time. Signed Rico Dowdle in free agency, drafted Maxi Honachor to play some tackle to help out the offensive line. I really think Mike McCarthy has the chance. And now you're in a division now with the Bengals, who that one Joe Burrow injury and everything, all the praise we've given him doesn't matter. Jesse Minter, I think, is going to be a really good head coach. I got nothing to go off of that with. I have not seen it yet. And again, it's the Browns. And I think Todd Monken is really right now, and I hate to say it, I think he's just a placeholder. That's how it kind of looks to me. Plus, I just don't see the quarterback position is still a mess in Cleveland.
Yeah, 4 quarterbacks doesn't help.
Yeah, well, that is true.
What's up, Orlando?
Chat. Orlando, what's up, brother?
What's up, Caleb? What's up, Anthony?
Okay, what's up, Anthony? Oh, Anthony, that was a win, all right. I watched a little bit of the end of that game. That was a win, all right. Colton Cowser, what is his second walk-off in like 3 days?
Wow.
Orioles are starting to get that offense starting to hum a little bit. I only picked them to win maybe the AL East in my off-season preview, but, that's okay. You never go with what I say. Trust me, you'll learn to be your life will be a lot better if you don't listen to me.
There's a reason why I say that.
Anthony, if they didn't add Rico Dowdle, I would agree. But you add him, who, I mean, you saw what he did last year with Carolina. And Carolina was a big time run first team because of him. And I think Jalen Warren is still a good running back. I don't know how good of a running back, but
he's a good pass catching back. He's more of a receiving back than he is a traditional running back. So that's why bringing in Rico Dowdle is a very nice compliment for the both of them. Dowdle, I don't know how much does he really give you in the pass game. I remember he had a boat ton of rushing yards. I don't remember that many receiving yards. I'm going to try and look it up real quick. Last year, had 297 through the air, 1 receiving touchdown, caught 39 passes. Not a receiving back. So I think the duo of them, it's going to be really good complementary football. McCarthy's going to love having that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, last year their pass catching back was Gainwell, who caught 73 freaking passes.
Yeah. And that's the problem. They had Warren and Gainwell, 2 receiving backs, no real traditional runner.
And look, I want to take a lot away from Warren. Warren actually played. He had a solid year.
He did.
I mean, he ran for 950 and 6 touchdowns, and even him, he had 40 catches for 333 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was very solid, but am I going to just go in there and commit to him as this bell cow running back? No. It's
not a
perfect guy. You get a perfect guy to put in a committee with him. And Rico Dowdle is that. We saw what he did in Dallas. We saw the effect he had on Carolina last year. I think that's a bigger loss for Carolina because I know Chuba got the money. I know Chuba's their guy, but
Chuba was also hurt a little bit last year too.
Exactly. And when you can keep your running backs fresh, it is such a big key to the game. That is why last year with the Eagles, I got so mad because I wanted to see more Tank Bigsby early on because of Saquon and the usage that he had last year. However, said name, who will not be named on this platform anymore, in Miami, didn't understand how that goes. But that's neither here nor there anymore. But no, it's just, again, it's bringing in last year, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, their offense, not only, again, was it anemic because, again, Mike Tomlin has not adjusted to the offensive style of the NFL, and it feels like a decade. They only had one really good pass catcher, and that was DK. Everything else was, I mean, Jonnu Smith, who helped me become $5 richer. Thank you, Jonnu. Outside of DK, who was he throwing the ball to?
Nobody. They never had that person to step up.
No, and now you have guys that can come in there and do their job, like Michael Pittman, who is just another really good wide receiver, too, to put next to DK. You bring in Bernard, who is going to play a lot of slot. Aaron Rodgers apparently loves his slot receivers who are 6 foot and taller.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I mean, I'm going back to the running.
He's going to love himself some Ben Skoranek. That might become his new favorite target.
Not to mention Gennings Dunker blocking for him. Right? Didn't the Steelers draft Gennings Dunker?
Oh, they did. All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I was right about that. By the way, totally forgot that Dowdle still ran for 1,076 yards last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, running back is not an issue in Pittsburgh. It may be an issue for Caleb Johnson, who is now playing for his roster spot, but that's a different story for a different day.
He'll still make the roster.
He has a 3rd string.
Exactly. But he'll still make it.
And if you look at Pittsburgh on the other side of the ball, which is what always has been their bread and butter, they still have Keanu Benton on the defensive line. Still have all reliable Cam Hayward. They have Derek Harmon. They brought in Sebastian Joseph Day for some depth. They still have a very serviceable defense. They still have Nick Herbig off the edge, along with Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, TJ Watt, Peyton Wilson. You go into the secondary. The secondary, they brought in some help. I mean, Deshaun Elliott and Jaquan Brisker are back there at safety. Brisker, who had a pretty serviceable year last year in Chicago. Jamel Dean, who is really one of the more underrated corners in football. during his time in Tampa Bay. He'll be playing out there now opposite of Joey Porter, Asante Samuel Jr. Ramsey is kind of in between at this point in his career. Seems like they're transitioning him a little more to safety. He actually did play a decent amount of safety last year, so it looks like as the days get older and the body gets a little older, it looks like that Mr. Ramsey's going to be making that transition to safety full time. But I think Mike McCarthy can do enough offensively to bring the Steelers somewhat to the 21st century on how the NFL runs an offense.
Yeah.
But I think they're just the most well-positioned team in terms of roster construction. And again, they're in a division that has 2 new head coaches, and the only one that is still the longest tenured is Zach Taylor. That's all I need to tell you. Anthony, that's if Caleb Johnson is even worthy of getting on the field. I don't know who their return man is going to be next year. I really don't.
Yeah, it might be him.
It probably could.
It might be Warren.
If it's a way to,
I don't know.
If it's a way to get him on the field, sure. But let's fairly go through this coaching list. Let's give our thoughts on a little bit of our thoughts on all these guys, because there is room for success for some of them.
Yes.
It's just,
and others might just be placeholders.
Yeah, so where do we want to start off with this? Well, I kind of gave my thoughts on McCarthy.
Let's start with the Cardinals.
Oh,
because Mike LaFleur, I think he will be a good coach. He's not currently set up to succeed in his first year there.
Is he set up to succeed in that first 3 years?
Well, that depends. Are they expecting to hit on who they just draft this year?
Jeremiah Love or
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, Carson Beck.
Yes, Beck. Are they expecting to hit off of Beck? I don't know. Maybe they might. They might have a bad season again this year. They may end up picking like top 5 next year's draft. Will they hopefully take a quarterback again next year? That might be their franchise quarterback. It's a realistic possibility because, you're not giving Jacoby Brissett a multi-year deal. Carson Beck's a developmental quarterback. There's no guarantee he could be ready to start next year.
I mean, according to Fighting Philly, it's the Cardinals end of conversation.
You're right. Larry Fitz ain't there anymore. We don't care about him. Moving on.
Yeah, honestly, ever since Larry retired, I could care less. I miss me some Larry Fitz. That is one of my most favorite wide receivers to watch.
Larry Fitz and Carson Palmer.
No, Larry Fitz and Kurt Warner.
Yeah, those are the best days. But yeah, Carson Palmer, he could sling it.
Well, somebody just asked. I think Fighting Philly just read your mind there. Give Carson Palmer a call. Oh dear.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is. Probably about the same age as Aaron Rodgers.
That's very true. And look, also, I know Arizona. I know Arizona fans and a lot of people question why they took Jeremiah Love so high. Here's the thing. The Cardinals, since the Larry Fitzgerald days, have had nothing to look forward to. They, first off, have to do something to get their fan base back, sold back into the team. That's the start of it. The Kyler Murray era was a disaster. Now, injuries hurt that. But, if you look at it, and again, I know a lot of people said maybe Carson Beck was taken a little higher than what people expected. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. As long as a head coach likes a quarterback for his system that he wants to run, it doesn't matter where they are taken. If a coach likes a guy, then he is going to take him and hopefully set him up for success. Because I will say this about the Cardinals. They do have a pretty solid group on offense.
I say that with an explanation at the end.
Choose your words
Obviously,
wisely.
Jeremiah Love is going to be great first year. Not
They
to
have the
mention
best
they
tight.
have Algier and Connor on that running back room as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if Connor gets moved.
Yeah, that would be best scenario for them. Obviously, Marvin Harrison, he's got a lot of potential. Hasn't really reached that ceiling that people were expecting for him coming out of Ohio State. But then again, went to the Cardinals. Cardinals didn't know what they were doing.
Michael Wilson had a really good year.
Best tight end in football.
Thank you. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that thinks that.
I agree with that. But I mean, the depth at wide receiver does worry me a little bit. Mike Wilson's good.
He's better than Marvin Harrison right now.
Yeah, will he continue that level of success?
Good. It's a good question to ask. But again, you're looking at it on paper, right? Like if Carson, look, I think it's safe to say I'm expecting Carson Beck to start at least somewhere in the range of 3 games this year for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
There were reports coming out from the combine that his arm looked better just compared to this past season because of that UCL injury he had back in Georgia. That's why a lot of Miami's pass game this year was a lot of behind the line, intermediate passing. It's because that they wanted to see how that arm would hold up, and they said it looked even better at the combine. And Dustin has said this 1,000 times in the comments. He said it when LaFleur was hired in Arizona. He likes pocket passers. Well, just for the S&Gs, and that's shits and giggles for anyone who doesn't know what S&Gs mean, but what if Carson Beck can play at the next level? You're inheriting what is probably the best running back prospect since Bijan.
Yeah.
2 good wide receivers. They're not great, but they're both good. Marvin Harrison has not hit his ceiling yet. Yes. Has he hit his potential where he was drafted? Not yet. Once again, though, we're putting the emphasis on a kid because who his dad was. And I can't stand that. A lot of the pressure on Marvin Harrison is because of who his father is. And I'm not saying Marvin Harrison...
pretty damn good at Ohio State.
He was, but if his last name wasn't Harrison, would we be putting this much pressure on the kid? That's my question.
Agreed.
He's a good player. I'm not saying, he's in the NFL because of his dad. Trust me, this is not.
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with it. Say it.
This isn't Bronny James we're talking about here. Marvin Harrison can play, but I feel like everyone expected him the moment he stepped on a football field, he's put up 1,500 yards a year. Relax. The guy hasn't had a consistent quarterback who's over 4 foot tall yet in his career. Okay? But that's the problem. That's probably the best quarterback he's played with so far in Arizona. That's the problem. Marvin Harrison is a good player. I just think we put some unrealistic expectations on kids whose fathers are NFL Hall of Famers. Look, could he be as good as his dad? Maybe. I don't know. Would I expect it right off the rip? Oh, it's an unrealistic expectation. And Michael Wilson just coming out of nowhere last year and putting up 1,000 yards when no one even knew who he really was. Sensational. And like you said, best tight end in football, who is probably, unless Carson Beck can play or the Cardinals find their guy in the near future, is probably heading toward the DeAndre Hopkins role of tight ends. Don't care who your quarterback is. I'm just catching 110 balls a year.
Yeah.
Because, when we do our top 10 list later on in the summer, Trey McBride's going to be pretty high up there. And I'm glad that I'm not the only one that sees that he is the best tight end in football because he is absolutely...
He's a star on his heels, but he could take the crown for now.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with McBride being number 1. But yeah, I'm chilling there but again, I think Arizona, they have the playmakers. They have to find the quarterback. Now, the offensive line also needs work as well. But again, this is one thing at a time here. Can they find the quarterback? Can it be Carson Beck? Absolutely. I think honestly, it sounds like Arizona really liked them. They liked him. They really wanted Ty Simpson, but the Rams jumped in and did what they did because I think even the Cardinals realized you could not justify using a top 3 pick on Ty Simpson. I think the whole draft would have imploded that if that happened.
Yep.
But there were 2 quarterbacks after Simpson and Mendoza in this draft that I thought if you put them in the right spot, you could make something out of them. What that will entail, I don't know. But it was Carson Beck and Drew Aller. Aller's in Pittsburgh, and Beck is now in Arizona. And look, LaFleur is another one of those coaches from the McVay tree who knows how to coach. He knows how to coach quarterbacks. It's not like he's inheriting an absolute offensive mess. They have the weapons on the offense to be competitive. Defensively, that's a whole nother story. Don't talk to me about their defense. Their defense may be one of the worst in football, but offensively, I think if they get the quarterback right, if Brissett comes back and gets a new deal and plays like he did last year, or if they just go with Carson Beck and they are comfortable with going with him off the rip, I'm not saying they're going to win freaking 7 games and they're going to be a playoff team or anything, but there will be some excitement out in the desert. And it's been a long time since the Cardinals have had some excitement. We just spent a lot of time on the Arizona Cardinals.
That was too much time for the Cardinals.
No, hold on. We're here for the people.
They were supposed to be disrespected.
No, we don't disrespect.
They can't come to a contract with Jacoby Brissett. You know what? Sign him for a 4-year, $40 million a year. I mean, he's a pocket passer, right? You said LaFleur likes pocket passers. There you go. Boom.
You negotiating contracts back in 1999? What are you doing? A quarterback signing bonus is more than $10 million a year.
No, $40 million. $40 million a year. I didn't mean 40 or 440. I bet $40 million a year.
Are you okay? Yeah. Thank God you're not a GM. You'd be fired. And I ain't giving Jacoby Brissett $40 million a year. No way. Especially for 4 years. Get out of here. I'll give him 30, maybe 35, just to make him happy. But yeah, I'm not. I ain't doing no 40 a year. But all right, now let's move on. Let's go on to another bird team. There's a lot of bird teams on that need head coaches this year. Thank God we're not one of them. Why don't we move over to Atlanta with Kevin Stefanski? It all ended it ended ugly in Cleveland. I'm sure if any of our Cleveland people or our Ohio people are watching, they're gonna hop in the comments and rip Stefanski into shreds because that's just how it is. But what about Stefanski in his first year in Atlanta?
I mean, Atlanta, they're another team that's kind of in an awkward territory. Who's the starting quarterback? They traded for Tua, did they not? He wasn't a free agent.
They signed Tua.
Oh, he was a free agent.
Yeah, remember the Dolphins were taking that big cap hit.
Okay. So they bring in Tua. You have the often injured Michael Penix Jr., your former first-round pick from 2 years ago. And then, funnily enough, they still have Trevor Siemian somewhere in that quarterback room, which I think is hilarious.
Trevor Siemian still plays?
Apparently.
What?
Well, think about it. When you have your QB1 and QB2 that both get injured a lot, it's not a bad idea to, keep Trevor Siemian on the roster. But aside from that, I mean, it's another team that is pretty well constructed. I mean, again, I'll say it, on paper, they have one of the strongest offensive lines. They don't always show up, but we like to say on paper it looks good. Obviously, Bijan Robinson probably aside from CMC, they are equally the best running backs in football. Still got Brian Robinson behind him. Drake London, he's really come into his own as a pass catcher. Very versatile. Another guy, need him to play all 17 games. Sometimes he gets banged up, misses a few here and there. I like that they're still going with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts had one of the best years of his career, aside from his rookie season. And I feel like that's because, obviously he's been misused so much. Will Stefanski know how to use him? Because, I didn't really see Njoku used a whole lot in Stefanski's offensive schemes. So
hold on. Why was Njoku not used last year?
Oh, I know last year. What about before that? Stefanski's been there for a lot longer than just last year.
Well, that's because Njoku stinks. So I understand. I get where you're going with this. I understand what you're trying to say with this whole thing. But the one thing I'm going to say is, you could say, "Oh, well, what did he do with Njoku? Look what he did last year with Hal Fanning Jr. Fanning Jr. was on a tear last year as a rookie." So I think Pitts is in a good spot with Stefanski. The biggest problem I have with the Atlanta Falcons is which damn quarterback is playing and which one is going to be healthy. You cannot sit here and confidently say that Michael Penix will play at least 10 games this year. You can't say comfortably that Tua will play 10 games this year.
I can't. You know who I could comfortably say might play 10 games this year? Trevor Siemian.
Oh, please stop. No, you don't. Even you don't. Trevor Siemian doesn't believe that.
If everyone else is hurt, then yeah, he's the next guy up.
Atlanta's going to need their defense to play lights out this year because I have no idea what they are.
I mean, like I said, one of the more complete teams that Stefanski gets to walk into, aside from the quarterback situation. I mean, Jalen Walker, James Pierce, AJ Terrell took his brother as well.
Xavier Watts, Jesse Bates.
Xavier Watts. Like, oh my gosh.
Billy Bowman, when he gets back from that Achilles injury, was actually being a really good playing in the nickel last year for them.
Yeah.
So I do really like Atlanta defense. And again, Jeff Olbrich, I think one of the best things Stefanski, the best decisions he made was retaining Jeff Olbrich as his defensive coordinator. I thought he had that Falcons defense playing at a high level last year. But again, offensively, they have the weapons. They don't have much wide receiver help outside of Drake London. I mean, they got rid of Darnell Mooney.
They brought in Jahan Dotson.
Well, they did draft Zachariah Branch, so
they did. I think Branch is going to be I think he's going to be a dynamic player for them offensively. You know what you get out of Drake London, but I think this guy is where they're really going to be able to create a lot of plays after the catch, get him the ball in short passing scenarios, and let him work.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you're not competing with much at the wide receiver, too. I mean, like you said, it's Jahan Dotson or Olamide Zaccheaus. Zaccheaus is a very good depth wide receiver. Good low-end 3, high-end 4 type guy, but him and Jahan Dotson are not wide receiver 2s in 2026.
No. I'd like to know who's playing outside with Drake London.
I'll tell you who should play outside because of what his actual natural position is. If I see Jahan Dotson line up in this, and, I know a lot of people say my Penn State biased, real funny, comes into play here. It's not about me thinking Jahan Dotson is a great NFL player or even a good NFL player. But I do understand what it takes to make players who haven't lived up to their draft hype, which, first of all, I will even say that drafting Jahan Dotson in the first round when Washington did was a reach. I couldn't believe they took him in the first round. I had him as a second round, maybe even third round pick. But if you're going to take a guy that high, don't line him up in the slot when he doesn't play it.
Yeah.
But I think the Falcons' hope is that Zachariah Branch just comes out and plays really well, because outside of that, It's Dotson, Zacchaeus. Yeah, that's not much.
Yeah.
But again, Atlanta, it's going to come down to two things, and two things most importantly. It's going to come down to the quarterback situation. Is it Tua or is it Penix? I know a lot of people say, oh, they would never give up on Penix. Well, I'm not saying they would, but Michael Penix's body may give up on him.
Yeah. I mean, if he suffers any sort of, moderate to major injury, it might just be time to move on.
Yeah, so I mean, again, are we going to sit here and act like both of these quarterbacks have great bills of health? Because they don't. And Stefanski just can't find a quarterback situation for himself in the NFL, can he? First, he's got the whole situation in Cleveland. Now he's got to deal with this stuff in Atlanta. Like, what did Stefanski do, man?
All I got to say is he's got to tread carefully with Penix because he doesn't want another Baker Mayfield situation.
I don't even think Penix is as good as Mayfield ever was. So I think
No. I 100% will say no. Because I'm still the guy who says he is not sold on Penix, and I stand by that. And not just from he's been too injured. From the times I have seen him on the field, he doesn't look like he can make every throw.
Yeah, I will say you are definitely not a Michael Penix supporter. You've said that since oh dear.
Oh man. Now he's on retainer if they need him.
I think Matt Ryan can still sling it like 10 times a game. Gives the old Phillip Rivers treatment. Man. But Atlanta's biggest issue is the quarterback situation. What's going to happen? Who is going to start the most games? Who knows? Who we got? Who's our next up here? We got. All right, let's go down. Let's go to your guy that you were talking about a minute ago. Let's go to Jesse Minter out in Baltimore.
All right. Jesse Minter in Baltimore. I think it'll be a decent transition from John Harbaugh. Not going to be perfect. Obviously, Ravens struggled last year. Lamar missed a good chunk of time during the season. Their defense looked terrible. Hopefully, Minter's able to come in, kind of reshape, retool that defense, get it back to the Ravens football standard, and hopefully, with a healthier offense and the addition of some more receiving weapons in the draft, hopefully the offense is moving as well. I mean, you know what you're going to get out of Lamar Jackson. We all know Derrick Henry. I mean, the dude is just insane. I mean, last year he put up a very quiet 1,600-yard rushing season. Like, it almost seemed like you didn't hear his name enough because the Ravens weren't winning a lot of games. They were struggling. And then, with Zay Flowers, drafting Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt, I really think they're going to be able to move the football more. It's definitely better to have more options instead of having to force the ball to Zay Flowers in big games. But their division is still tough, though, because you're looking at Cincinnati with a healthy Joe Burrow. If he stays healthy the whole year, that's basically all Cincinnati hinges on. If Joe Burrow stays healthy the whole year, they're probably the number one team in that division.
Okay, I can agree. I can agree with you there.
Cleveland, they are what they are.
It's Cleveland.
Pittsburgh's gonna have a real shot at that division too this year. I see it being a pretty close three-way race for that AFC North.
I think if you look at Baltimore and the way, you just brought up a second ago, they actually did bring in some wide receivers. They drafted Surratt. They drafted Lane. They already have Zay Flowers. They have Rashad Bateman. I think a lot of this is them saying to Lamar Jackson, look, you having no quote unquote help is not going to be an excuse anymore. You got easily one of the 4 best running backs in the game. You have Zay Flowers, who has been pretty damn solid as your wide receiver 1. And now they're hopefully drafting 2 wide receivers that can make plays outside of him, because the most consistent wide receiver they've had outside of Zay Flowers has been Rashad Bateman, and that is not
Yeah.
very consistent.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, they drafted Ioane as well.
Yeah, I thought the Ravens had a very good draft with the 2 wide receivers getting Alane. And you brought up something about the Ravens defense, and I will be the first to tell you that was the first year in a long time that I sat there and I'm like, this is just not the Ravens defense that I'm used to watching. And even in the years, when Ed Reed and Ray Lewis left all those years ago, they still did Terrell Suggs. You still looked at them and you're just like, they are just a physical defense that will beat you down, and there's nothing you can do. And last year, that was not the case. They were not a good defense last year. They have come out this offseason and they've put their nose to it. They are trying to improve it. Number 1, they signed Calais Campbell, old reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there is 3 things guaranteed: death, taxes. Calais Campbell's going to play. 39 years old, and is coming off a year where he still put up 6.5 sacks. Evening, George.
What's going on, George?
And now another one on the Ravens defense is Nnamdi Madubuike. If that neck injury, if he can play again to the level he did, that's one of the better pass rushing defensive tackles in the sport. If he's healthy, their defensive line is instantly going to get better. They drafted Zion Young to help on the edge. They've brought in Trey Hendrickson. Of course, we know the whole situation with Max Crosby, where we're not going to go there. It is what it is, and I think the Ravens turned out better because of it. I know a lot of people, some may disagree, but... And in the secondary, I mean, look, you have Malachi Starks, who you just drafted last year.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Jalen Hawkins, and I think he was with New England last year. Yeah, he was a full-time starter for them. And they brought in they still have Kyle Hamilton, who's still one of the best safeties in football. Still have Marlon Humphrey. I think defensively, and with whatever scheme Jesse Minter wants to put in there, I do think you're going to see a much improved Ravens defense. Well, and Nate Wiggins is another guy they still have there. But
yeah,
I'm so used to the Ravens just having a dominant defense, and just to watch them last year basically turnstiles. Yep. It's something I'm not used to seeing.
And I think a lot of that had to do with, not having Lamar Jackson out there. Their offense not controlling the ball more, controlling possession.
And Derrick Henry getting off to a slow start also didn't help.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Derrick Henry last year, he did have almost 1,600 last year, but there was like that 5 to 6 week stretch where it was like, is Father Time striking here? Because
so it started off Buffalo 169, then it dropped 23, 50, 42, 33, 122, 71, 19, 119, 75, 103. But the ending of the season, I mean, like the last 5 games, 94, 100, 128, 216 against Green Bay, 126 against Pittsburgh. That's why I said it was kind of like a quiet 1,600-yard rushing season for him, because it wasn't week in, week out dominance. But the games he got going, he was going.
I mean, we got to a point last year where with Derrick Henry, it's not like we were saying, "Oh, is this the end of the road for him?" But it's like, he don't look like the same Derrick Henry.
It was like, is he starting to take a step back at being 32 years old? But nope, that's not the case.
Same old Derrick Henry as always. And moving on, I mean, and we talked about Joe Brady. I think Joe Brady will probably be the easiest pick to have the most success. Again, he has Josh Allen. The Bills are playing in a division that is very winnable. The Jets are still the Jets until proven otherwise. The Dolphins are a complete mess. The Patriots are actually going to play legit teams this year, so we'll see how that all works out. But it's not like there's a guy that has to come in and learn what Josh Allen likes, how Josh Allen likes to play. There's a guy who's coached Josh Allen now for a few years. Offensively, I mean, they still have James Cook. They brought in DJ Moore. I don't know if they did enough at pass catcher to.
I will be the one to advocate that they did, because I'll say it again. You look at last year and how they were still able to succeed passing the ball with Khalil Shakur as their number one and Keon Coleman as their number two when he decided to show up. And not to mention, Kincaid missed like a solid chunk of the year with injuries. Because he probably would be the most reliable pass catcher from last year's team. And he played 12 games.
Yeah.
So I think just the addition of DJ Moore strengthens that offense even more. Because the one thing I've come to realize, Josh Allen just gets it done. He just finds a way. And James Cook, he's a big part of that as well. Establishing the run game, able to catch the ball out of the backfield as well. But I think they'll be fine offensively. It always just comes down to their defense. Can their defense play well enough to where Josh Allen doesn't have to play Superman every game to barely win?
Yeah, that's still been one of their biggest bugaboos over the past 2 years. I also forgot they took Skylar Bell out of UConn, so it's another pass-catching option.
That could turn out nice for him. He'll be probably one to develop a little bit more.
It could be.
I don't think he'll make it into the rotation too early.
Why? Who is just keeping him from not playing? Keon Coleman, please.
I hate to say this, Mecole Hardman. I don't know. Just as a veteran.
Stop.
I don't know.
Stop. This conversation just went way too bad. You just went way too far. If you could have sat there and told me about Keon Coleman, I would have somehow let you have a moment. Keon
Coleman already is going to have a higher roster spot than him.
Yeah, we'll see by week 10 where we lie. But you came on, the first thing out of your mouth, you said, Mecole, the journeyman returner, Hardman.
Hey, watch. He's going to end up, going out there on the field week 1, and you're going to be, like, in shock. I'm not saying he's going to do nothing. I'm just saying that he'll be out on the field.
Oh, that will be a shocking moment in its own right if he's out on the field, because, I mean, yeah. All right, Anthony, good question. 3 minutes left in the game. You're down by 6. Who do you want, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? That's a good question.
Give me the guy who's made it to a Super Bowl 08.
Yeah, that's you're asking for a lot there, buddy.
Oh, man. Not Lamar. It's still got to be Josh Allen. Even if he can't win in overtime, he gets him there.
I'll go Josh Allen. I don't think Lamar has done. I think. Look, I don't know. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar can make big plays. If you're asking him 3 minutes left, you need a touchdown to go ahead. I don't trust that the defense won't be able to take him out of the game. I trust that Josh Allen will be able to make more of the throws necessary and also extend plays with his legs and his physicality.
Yeah. And plus, like, Josh Allen has proven in the past that he can lead a team. I mean, he led how many drives in 2 seconds against the Chiefs in that AFC freaking playoff game.
Yeah.
The problem was that, again, their defense was Swiss cheese.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the Bills' defense, I was just thinking about this. They have tried this offseason to improve it. They drafted Zane Durant, my guy out of Penn State.
Brought in Bradley Chubb.
They did bring in Bradley Chubb. They drafted T.J. Parker out of Clemson, who I'm very high on. And if you look at it, that is some help. That will definitely help. They brought in some guys that I think could help them in the long run. They drafted Jalen Kilgore, which broke my heart. Really wanted him on the Eagles, but they brought in Geno Stone and C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that they are trying to fix their defense. Again, will it be enough? That's the question. Is it enough? Because the one thing you have to do again in this league is you got to get after the quarterback. And hopefully guys like Bradley Chubb and T.J. Parker can help out the guys they already have. So, again, their defense has been one of their bigger issues. And you're hoping that Josh Allen will eventually be able to get himself over that hump. But yeah, if I'm looking at the final 3 minutes of a game, I'm probably trusting Josh Allen to do it.
Yeah.
So
now I just wish Anthony would have just put Patrick Mahomes in that sentence, and that could have been a lot easier.
I don't know, but why we want to make it easier?
No, I'm just because Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, it's tough because they can both make plays in their own different ways. But I just know Patrick Mahomes, here's a guy you can just trust week in, week out.
Would you stop with the "here's a guy" crap?
Now here's a guy.
Here's a guy that. Oh. Have something you want to get off? Have something you want to get off your chest?
Yeah. Why on God's green earth would you want Patrick Mahomes? It's a 50-50 ball game. Josh Allen can actually make plays with his feet. He doesn't have to throw the ball. Think about that.
Oh, whoa. I saw Patrick Mahomes make some plays with his legs after it looked like his ankle was busted in that Super Bowl back in
the last time I saw Patrick trying to force himself to make a play, he yanked something, and we ain't seen him since.
Okay, hold on a second. You're telling me that Patrick Mahomes in the past hasn't proven he can make plays with his legs? That's all he's ever done.
Oh, well, yeah, but he's still winging in a prayer. I'm not seeing him trying to force,
Well, it looks like that prayer gets answered every time he throws it.
Well, not lately. If Tyreek Hill gets, ever thinks about not pursuing his DJ career, I think, everybody's pretty much trying to see if he'll take a discounted deal coming back to KC.
After the report that we got last week by another certain wide receiver who plays with Kansas City, I think that's a very big possibility.
I think so. I'm not doubting that is probably what's going to happen. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, and their name is not Alexis. Or Alexa, whatever the freaking name is.
Yeah.
There we go. I can't remember.
I like the effort given. I give you a name.
I don't listen. Raw's on Netflix. I don't watch it. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. So, George, in case you need a little bit of a background, we're going over the coaches, first-year coaches that can have the most success in 2026. So far, we kind of knocked out.
I saw your list.
So we knocked out LaFleur, knocked out Stefanski. I know that's a touchy subject for people in your area. Talked on Jesse Minter and Joe Brady. It's a good time for you to pop on because the next name up is Todd Monken.
Actually, let me just quickly rebound. I actually picked Stefanski in your poll, by the way.
Did you? I didn't even realize. I didn't even see that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I actually picked Stefanski to have a very good year with Atlanta. I'm very intrigued to see what he can do when he doesn't have micromanagement. One sitting on this shoulder, one sitting on this shoulder. That's what I'm looking forward to out of Stefanski, because I think Matt Ryan also realizes let a football guy lead a football guy and let him do his job. We've seen how well that can work when you let football people do their jobs. It's
They're
an
not
amazing
wrong.
thing. Unfortunately, Todd, welcome to the circus. The elephants are in that ring, the lions are in that ring, and the clowns are right behind you.
I thought they were up in the. I thought they were up in the box office.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but they'll be right behind you most of the time.
The thing is, the problem is in Cleveland is the talent's there. I mean, I'm going to stay on that ship. They have had two of the best draft classes over the past two drafts. Last year was awesome. This past year, I think, is going to be just as effective. But then again, there just goes back to that lovely conversation that I feel like we've been having with Cleveland for about 10 years. The quarterback situation. Because I've sat here the entire offseason talking, let's see if Shador can play. Let's give him a fair chance. He's got weapons. They got him a whole new offensive line. And then I forget there's a $100 million mistake sitting over there, and that's probably going to be, and I'm hearing in practices, he's playing most of the snaps. So,
what did you expect? I mean, and by the way, we cannot take all of that of what you hear from the practices, because it is Mary Kay Cabot, who, she all she's got is Charlie Brown. Womp womp. She can't report her way out of a brown paper bag. It's pathetic.
I'd like to put her up against some.
I'm on the whole thing of #fire Mary Kay. Please, for the love of God, because she can't tell the truth if her hand's been on. Each hand is on a Bible. She still can't do it. I'm just saying.
I got no comment for that.
I'm just saying. I actually could say she's worse than Aaron Goldhammer.
There's another name that I want to bring up, and I think it's a little too touchy of a subject still.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that. That wouldn't be very patriot of me to say. So we'll just stick to we'll stick to the basics here. No, look, I think Cleveland has a good roster. I think the talent's there. I think Monken is, like I said, I don't want to say a placeholder, but he kind of feels that way. He is an older coach. I know it's his first time being a head coach, but he is an older coach. He's not like a Jesse Minter or a guy like that. So I do think he is a placeholder, but I think like you said, if the Nimrods upstairs let the football guys worry about the football team, that's usually how this stuff works out. But again, Browns ownership always has to just get themselves involved.
This isn't the first time that a placeholder thought coach that we would have wouldn't make it. There's another guy who was here that was only supposed to be a placeholder. His name was Marty Schottenheimer. And he turned out to be pretty damn good. So, I agree. I totally agree with you. I think once the whole 2030 thing comes up, the new stadium and all that jazz, they're going to be looking for the flashy names and everything else to put butts in the seats, just like any other businessman would do. But
exactly,
you'll have to listen. It's kind of like the Detroit Pistons when they were first on their verge of winning championships. They were in the Pontiac Silverdome, but they let the basketball people do their jobs, get all the right pieces, and then bam, once they were in the new house, what was going down? A lot of winning. So for Cleveland, hey, listen, let the football guys do their jobs. Got a couple of good draft classes going. Get another two. let's see if they can start producing the winning. If they do, move into the new house, sell more butts in the seats. That's the way I would look at it on the positive spin of that. But yeah, like I said, a place, somebody who we always would think would be a placeholder coach ends up being the right guy. I mean, look at your situation for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Nick wasn't the all almighty who you were praying and hoping for. He was a placeholder, and hey, dude, guess what? You're winning. Even though there's some other people out there scratching their heads and beating their heads into the wall sometimes, such as yourself. But hey, you're winning. You're winning, dude. You're winning. So guess what? The guy gets to go down in history as one of the great coaches of your franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, there'll be radio stations shutting down if you say that stuff around here. Oh my God, they'd be shutting down their doors, which would be better for all of us. But
you guys got enough issues.
But
like I said, I mean, seriously though, that's exactly where you're at, though. That is where you're at. It's what you needed, and that's where you're at.
Yeah.
So I can't give a fair assessment, and saying, hey, okay, he's going to be great the first. No, it takes a little bit to put the pieces together. Kyle Shanahan did not have the 49ers right off the rip walking into a Super Bowl. It took him to get some pieces together. It took a couple of years, and then boom, off and running.
Yeah.
Steve McVay, the same thing. That's why I always keep saying, give a coach 3 years, give him the right GM and personnel people to work with him for his philosophy of how he visions the team, and you're off and running.
I mean, for God's sakes, McVay, he drafted his first quarterback and knew it, didn't think he could win with that, and said, okay, well, guess what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go get the guy I know I can win with.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm going to tell you right now that I still think that trade was a balanced trade, and it just worked because the two quarterbacks are now in the right systems that they eventually were meant to play in.
Yep, I agree.
I said, that's the most important thing. You can have just let's take these two Notre Dame rookie running backs. Which one of these two guys is not erase the fact of where they were drafted at? Think about, are they in the right system that they just left? Who is going to be more successful? Or does one have to adapt to the other one? That's a very important question. Personally, after even chatting with Mr. Seahawk, who's outside, I asked him, I said, I know you probably never heard of the kid. I says, but after seeing some highlight stuff, I said, do you think that that's the right system? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, well, the other guy got drafted in the top 5. I said, what do you think? And he's like, just depends who's in a better system. I said, fair enough. So I'll leave the question to you guys. Do you think that each guy is in their correct system?
I personally just think they're both such talented running backs. And yes, Jadarian Price was overlooked a lot since he was playing behind Jeremiah Love. But I think they're both in the right system. I both think they're going to have very successful NFL careers with their respective teams. Because I'm looking at a scenario for Love in Arizona where no idea who their quarterback's going to be. If Brissett's going to hold out, if they're going to have to start Carson Beck first year, they might need to rely on the run game a lot. And I think Love will be able to deliver for that. And then fill in the shoes of Kenneth Walker in Seattle. It's a big price to ask for, especially with Charbonnet coming off an injury. But I think Jadarian Price has proven that he can do that as well.
Yeah, because I think Ashton Genty got hosed. I don't think he's in the right system.
Well, I think maybe this year we might see a change now that he doesn't have Chip Kelly
Chip, this is
coaching
true.
him.
This is true.
The man who told him, yeah, we need you to use a proper traditional NFL stance. No more standing up in the backfield.
You know who else stood up in the backfield?
Who?
Terrell Davis.
Oh.
TD stood up in the backfield too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew Ashton Genty's rookie year was going to be a disaster as soon as I saw Chip Kelly being the offense coordinator. And
I
look
did
at
too.
that. One
I
and
said
done.
it was a wasted. I said it was a wasted pick if he was going to end up staying there. It was,
I think it'll work out for him overall, but they wasted his rookie year with Chip Kelly.
well, that's why I think Todd. I think Todd will turn around and everybody, Sam, and I know you're like, hey, give Shador a clean shot. I am 100% in agreement with it, but I'd like to see him develop him. Shador just got thrown out there because, well, look at what the hell we got. So they just went, here, have fun. No, you didn't. And Stefanski said it. He's like, well, I don't want to bother with him. Well, okay, well, that's between you and Barry, and who's arguing, well, why'd you pick him then? Hello? These guys come in, and it's like, hey, you want them to adapt to the faster game of pro-level football. His dad has clearly trained him psychologically from birth, basically, that, hey, this is what pro football is like. So he's already got the mentality. Just help him develop the rest of his talent that will help improve him. I think that is Todd's goal in this. It's like, hey, fine, let's hurry up, let's burn through Mr. $100 million man and get him the hell out of here, because I think he's going to turn around and work on Shador's development. And I'm all for that. I would rather see, let's waste off Mr. Watson, waste him because, hey, you'll get better draft picks next year too, and let him burn it down. And then when he burns it down enough to where you can say, hey, bye-bye, out the door, see ya. Or if he happens to do good enough, see who else needs a QB. God knows there's a lot of them. And let somebody else deal with the headache. And then, like I said, you've got to develop Shador throughout the year that Todd can work on. And that's why I think that's why he's been brought in here. It's like, what did Todd say? Todd said he wanted him in Baltimore. And to see the meeting with him and Shador, and he's like, man, he goes, I am so glad I am here because I told you I wanted you, and now I get to do what I wanted to do. That told me he wants to develop the guy. So is Todd secretly a quarterback whisperer like Harbaugh? Let's see. And I'm not talking John either. I'm talking Jim. Jim's pretty damn good.
And I make that same case out in Arizona with Mike LaFleur. Instead of, this whole thing with Jacoby Brissett, let's see if they can get Jacoby on something like a 2-year deal, give him a high amount of money, and let's see if Mike will focus on the development of Carson Beck. Because I made the case of a little bit earlier that to be a young quarterback in Arizona, the O-line needs a little bit of work, yes, but you're walking into a situation, generational running back talent, right currently as it's constructed, the best tight end in football, and 2 wide receivers that can play. Wilson and Harrison can play. So, and I was saying, Dustin said it how many times in every chat about how much LaFleur likes pocket passers. Well, Carson Beck fits that criteria. So, and I've been saying, and I'm so happy that you said the same thing. Everything about the NFL is going into its system. It's a system. Not every player is going to just come in and their talent is going to take them where they want to go. You have to have the right system. And I think if you put certain quarterbacks in this past class, because this was not a great quarterback class, we know that. Simpson is going to be fine because he's got McVay. Mendoza, I think, again, is the best quarterback in this draft. There's no doubt about it. But there were the other two quarterbacks that I said that if you put them in the right system, they can have success in the NFL. Carson Beck and Drew Aller. I think Aller is in a good position. The fact that I've heard that Pittsburgh's basically reteaching him the entire position just tells you how great he was coached at Penn State for all those years. Hey, Virginia Tech fans, have fun.
James Franklin did a good job in preparing him for the NFL level. He didn't teach him much. Clean slate.
Pretty much.
Who's next on your list there, bud?
All right, let's drop down to a guy who we just brought up. You know, we talked about Seattle. We talked about the Raiders. Let's talk about Clint Kubiak. And I almost wanted to say Kubiak. I almost voted for him, but the Raiders are not a team that I am sitting here saying they are 1 year away. This is the definition of a complete rebuild. It's been since they went to Vegas, it's been a freaking mess. The Derek Carr situation. Well, yes, very true. But
look who the owner is.
That is also true.
And what does he do? Tries to pretend to play dad and wants to make it a big show. Well, you got a nice big Roomba. You got to fill it, brother.
I think the Raiders are setting themselves up for a long period of success. They have the guy quarterback. I think Kubiak's going to be a really good coach. And everything else is starting to fill itself out. You know, they have Brock Bowers. They have Ashton Genty. They still got Max Crosby after all that drama early on in free agency.
Still need wide receivers.
They brought in Jalen Naylor. It's a decent addition. They still need their top guy, though. They need the guy.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Hold on, that Raiders
still having to rely on Brock Bowers. It's not a bad thing either.
Well, no. Bowers reminds me a lot, and I hate to pull out an old school name, but he reminds me a lot of Jeremy Shockey. And the Giants just relied on Jeremy way too much because that's all they really had. I mean, yeah, they had a running game too, but offensively it was like, Shockey and Kelsey, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like you're relying too much on your tight end and not enough on your wide receivers. To make that fair argument, that's exactly where I think the Raiders are stuck right now. Is they need, it's like, boy, if they could have tried to wheel and deal to pull off something else, going into that second round, I would have looked to get some big time wide receiver help.
And that's the thing. I mean, they weren't going to be able to solve all their issues in one draft and one offseason. But what they have done has been great so far. That's why they weren't one of my teams where I was looking at, okay, Clint Kubiak's going to have an immediate turnaround for this franchise. It's not going to be like that. They'll see more success than they have in recent years.
Yeah.
But they still are most likely 2 years removed from any sort of competing in the AFC. But at least they're on track and they're making the right moves. And I hate to say it again, having Tom Brady in that front office, it helps a lot with the football decisions as well. Kind of keeps their owner at bay from, inserting himself in situations he should not be involved in.
Well, first off, that could have been when Brady first walked over there and wanted to become a partial owner in that team. All he has to walk in there and do is open his hands. You see all these?
Yeah.
Would you like one?
Uh-huh. We know Daddy has them. Daddy's got them in buried with him. Would you like a couple of your own?
Yes, I will get you a few. I won't get you one. Bill thought I could get him one. I got Bill a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest reason why I didn't go with the Raiders, like I said, it's just a lot has to happen. The rebuild is still fresh. Don't try to rush things. Heck, we don't even know. I know, again, we don't even know if Mendoza starts week 1. Not saying he won't.
But, I mean, there is a valid reason that they brought Kirk Cousins in.
Yes, because he's worked with Clint Kubiak in the past. He could either start the season off and let Mendoza develop, and when Mendoza's out there, Kirk can see things that he can help Mendoza with.
Yeah.
I think Kirk's taking it as, hey, I've been brought in here to lead the squad, period. I'm not here to babysit anybody. The kid's going to learn. He's going to learn from clipboard and a headset. Or I should say, tablet and a headset.
Yes.
And guess what? Everybody's going to be kicking and screaming about it, but hey, geniuses, that's the normal way to develop somebody. That's how Joe Burrow learned. That's how Aaron Rodgers learned. Hello, guys. That's how Jordan Love learned. Yes.
Patrick Mahomes, too.
Yeah, behind Alex Smith. Hello. Yes, this is the proper way to develop somebody.
But again, that's the problem that we have in today's era where it's like, oh, he was taken number 1 overall. He's got to play. Not every quarterback is the same.
Yeah.
I said the same thing.
Not any running back is either.
Well, I understand that, but look at Bryce Young. Carolina, we were talking bust last year. Gets sat down for Andy Dalton a few games. They ended up making the playoffs. Because he got to sit, learn some things, and look where it took them. Not every quarterback has to play week 1 of the first day and be a success. Some guys have to sit.
Yeah, this is the Drew Bledsoe experiment.
Example of a guy who should have sat for his first year, Cam Ward.
Oh, yeah.
But they had they had nothing. So, it was kind of throw them into the fire, learn from there.
Well, they could have kept Tannehill. They could have.
I feel like that's rocky territory for Titans fans.
Yeah, but they still could have.
That was some of the best football they've seen in years.
In a long time.
It was. It's been years since they've seen it.
They were literally the 1 seed with him.
Tell me what season that was again, Sam. Remind me. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. 2021. Wow.
Last
time I checked, that was 5 years ago.
It wasn't 10 years ago.
That is true, but it's not like it was 2 years ago either. They've been a long way removed from their success with Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, I understand that. I'm just saying, we're just hold on. Don't turn this into a freaking Ryan Tannehill talk.
I want to talk about Ryan Tannehill, please.
Nobody wants to talk about Ryan Tannehill. Well, speaking of Ryan Tannehill, let's go to an old organization that used to employ him, and that's Jeff Hafley down with the Miami Dolphins. And I will tell you now, I just want to give a shout out to the 3 people who voted for Jeff Hafley on this poll because, guys, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to be rude in any way, but the Miami Dolphins right now are about 3 years away from being where the Raiders are right now. Okay, so let's be fair. The Dolphins are doing exactly what they need to. They're tearing the whole thing down. Tyreek gone, Waddle gone. It's Tua gone. I'll give them the credit.
The concession stands on the top level, man. I mean, when they start ripping them out, you're done.
Yep.
Just saying.
Miami is in a full-on rebuild. The concession
stands are missing in the top level.
The whole thing is a disaster in Miami, and they have got, like I said, they're probably 3 years away from being where the Raiders are right now.
That's being kind.
That is.
I'm trying to be. I don't want to be too mean here, but dude, I will give them credit.
You show me one game Miami might have a chance of winning this year.
That is if Malik Willis has the. That's if Malik Willis just comes out of nowhere and becomes Sam Darnold 2.0. And that's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen.
I'm going to say one of the Jets games. They'll beat the Jets at least once.
Yeah, Miami was 106 outside.
Yep.
Yeah,
And the Jets were cooking.
that's wishful thinking. Yeah. Wow, can't believe 3 people picked Miami.
Even in Zolt, Dolphins are on to have a top pick.
No, we've seen the Mannings pull the I'm sorry, but you're not playing with that team card way too many times.
Even if it's not Arch, I mean, Dante Moore's going to be coming out next year. And Dante Moore's a damn good quarterback too. It's just clearly didn't want to play for the Jets. Look, anybody can come out and say, it was different things there. Dylan Raiola transferred to Oregon thinking Dante Moore was leaving. And Dante said, nope, not doing this.
I'm coming back again.
But no, look, the Dolphins are, like I said, they've realized that they weren't competing with that regime.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a player dislocate his kneecap, tear his ACL, tear his MCL, and be on a cart celebrating it. And that was the known that, all right, yeah, McDaniel, you're done. Everyone's done because it was a mess in Miami. And I'll give them credit. They're going for Halfley. They hired a new GM. They're going to the Packers organization, a pretty successful one. It's a pretty successful organization. So, getting all these new pieces, like I said, Malik Willis, he is going to be the perfect bridge quarterback. They don't have much offensively outside of Devon Achane.
Are you trying to spray paint a gold turd? Sam?
I'm trying to give Dolphins fans something here, okay? I'm not trying to. It's going to be a mess, but
it's turd, Sam.
I'm just trying. Look, I'm trying to be a man of the people here. I'm not trying to kick the Dolphins fans while they're down.
You better use a second coat then while you're spraying.
He's going to need maybe a third just to try to get some sealant.
Maybe a custom job here. All right, let's go to another pretty dysfunctional organization that may be heading in the right direction, because the winner of the poll question was John Harbaugh with New York. Harbaugh received, what was I said again? 28% of the vote. So he won the poll to have the most success in 2026. The only issue that I have with that is Harbaugh is entering a division that has a team that the Philadelphia Eagles that have won back-to-back division titles and won a Super Bowl just 2 years ago. A Washington Commanders team that is going to have a healthy Jaden Daniels, and a Dallas team last year that, in my opinion, had one of the 5 most dynamic offenses in the league last year in terms of the numbers that those guys put up, from CD to Javonte Williams to Dak to George Pickens. Debate me on that later. And now they have revamped their entire defense. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Giants because that division is getting stronger. And they're still a young team. They have a lot of young players. Since we're on the topic, the one thing I wanted to bring up tonight was there was some recent New York Giants news coming out. I would like to just read off something real quick because it does, from what this article that Adam Schefter put out last week, it does not look like Malik Neighbors will be ready for the season.
Second knee surgery, right?
Yes. So let me just find a little bit here.
But you know what? Right, that's not, get it taken care of now.
Yeah.
Let him heal through this season, rehab it, and go full strength next year. Don't try pushing it because knees are a wide receiver's best friend, and you need to take care of those. So I'm all for it. If that's what he has to have done, fine. Go do it now, dude. Don't try pulling what some stupid quarterbacks do and I can play through it. Next thing you know, it's worse.
Exactly. Because I'm not expecting the Giants to have their turnaround year.
No.
I still see them, maybe best case, they finish third place in the NFC East. Maybe.
Yeah, John's got a lot of pieces that, I mean, hey, you're going AFC to NFC first and foremost. This isn't the AFC North, brother. This is the NFC East. This is a whole different ball game per se. And it's going to take a little bit of acclimation on his part too, as well as all these guys. I mean, again, we're talking systems. It's going to be a whole. How weird is it going to be for Jackson Dart and Scatterboot to sit there and go, huh? Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a lot back and forth. I think that this is going to be a big, big transition for everybody.
So here is, I'm not going to read the entire article, but I just want to go to the beginning part where Harbaugh talked about neighbors. And he did say last Thursday that it is not a simple knee injury. So here is what Harbaugh said. He's in the middle of it. It's such a hard thing. It's an ACL and whatever else he had in that knee. Coach Harbaugh said that this was during their third organized team practice. Not a simple knee injury, He's wait, what in the wait, where the heck did he go? Oh, I lost the part that was the important part. Crap. But apparently, no, because apparently he had to go in and get some scar tissue removed that was causing stiffness in that knee. So he's already had that situation now where he's had the ACL tear, which again, that happened in September. A lot of guys are usually ready by now. Well, we'll be ready by the season, but there is week one in jeopardy thinking inside that building right now. And also, who just said a second ago about him rehabbing the entire year? That's a good point. You know why? Do you see the field he plays on?
Yeah. You don't want to rush nothing on that field.
Right. Exactly. That field would come up and bite you. We've seen
and then I like what Anthony just said. Scatterboot, you might want to give him a little extra time too.
Yeah, that was not
just
that
foot was facing a direction it's not supposed to face.
That was a fully broken ankle.
Yeah, Connor's little his little meme thing popped back up today, with his little injury demon. And his little skit popped up on my phone today. I was cracking up about that one. That was the Scatterboot one, and Burrow just sits there and goes, "Uh-oh." And the Scatterboot goes, "What the heck?" And the injury demon goes, Oh, I don't have the report, but I'd say it's your ankle." That was a good one. That was a good one.
So, yeah, like as young and exciting as the Giants could be under Harbaugh, young players, and again, Jackson Dart, how many times did we take that medical tent visit last year, buddy?
Keep them upright. Just try to keep them upright as much as possible.
They're going in the right direction. But again, they're in a division. Again, they've got a lot of injuries to young players. And again, they're in a division that, we used to have kind of a good grip on, especially the two of us here, Tyler and I. I don't know who could win that division this year because every team got better. And no matter who you think is better than who, those division games are always going to be close. They're always going to be tough. Again, Jaden Daniels, healthy. Dak and the Cowboys. Offense last year was great. Defense, it looks to be getting better.
I think Washington is still in a lot of trouble.
They could be. If Jaden goes down again, they're in trouble.
But I'm saying even with the healthy Jaden Daniels, I think they are still in a lot of trouble.
I think they
don't have. They are missing way too many pieces, Sam. That interior offensive line. They still need the correct wide receivers for this system. There's a lot they're missing. Heck, they're still running back wise. They're still hurt. They need a lot.
Commanders, they do a lot.
Because I don't want to see. Look, I think Jaden Daniels is an exceptional talent. I don't want to see another RG3 situation.
Neither do I.
I want to see them have a quarterback for a decade plus because Jaden, I think, is a special player. He's not just a good player. He's a special player. I mean, come on. How many rookies in that situation can lead a team to an NFC title game?
I agree.
You don't see a lot of it. He's a special player. And I know that people think that I like to come on here and roast all the teams in my division. I'm also a guy that has two eyes that watches the game religiously. So I want to see him healthy because I still think Washington can compete. Because that division, like I said, that division's gotten better. I think Washington's had a good offseason. They've gotten younger, at least. They still have a lot of pieces to fill, but they've at least gotten younger, which they needed. Because, oh my God, how many? There were a lot of miles on that team last year. There was a lot of old bodies on that team, and if they all broke down, I mean, Zach Ertz got hurt, Jaden got hurt. So many guys got hurt on that team last year because old bodies eventually break. I hate to say it, but that's what happens. That's when you're an NFL football player. Old bodies break down eventually. And the last one on the list here, I mean, McCarthy's under Harbaugh, but I touched on McCarthy. I think Pittsburgh has the makings to be a team that could be competitive. McCarthy's coming into a division with, two guys that have never been head coaches before, and the longest tenure one is Zach Taylor. Take that with what you want, but they are a Joe Burrow injury away from being a 6-win team again. But
they're an Aaron Rodgers head case appointment from being totally in the basement.
That's another good point as well. So
I cannot wait to see. I am just looking forward to the implosion of the McCarthy-Rodgers reunion. I just can't wait for it. It is going to be. It will be must-see TV.
I only want to see it work out for the sake that Rodgers is retiring after this year, and hopefully, what's his name, can learn enough from him behind him. Drew Aller, not Will Howard. Will Howard, he can be an RA quarterback in the league. But
Will Howard will be
Drew Aller, the raw arm talent that can be defined. I think he could be really good.
I'm going to see Aaron Rodgers implode and just walk off and quit. I can't wait. I am so looking forward to it. I hope it happens in a Browns game. Just for the best entertainment of them.
Maybe Deshaun Watson can show him to the nearest.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious if it's Watson who wins against him on top of it. And Aaron's having his blow up on the side. Oh, my God. It'll be the best ESPN coverage ever. It'll be great.
I got nothing for this conversation right now.
I figured, Sam.
Now,
next,
the last name on this list.
I chose this one, too.
Robert Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, because of the division they play in, you could pick Saleh. I would not have hated the idea of it, because if there are two divisions, and I think that's another good point why I think George also went with Stefanski. These teams in the South, man, you can finish in last place with 3 wins and then win 6 games the next year and be in first place.
I will say the South last year improved a lot.
Not this year.
This year, we'll have to see. Jacksonville, I got to see it again. I'm not a believer after one good season.
I'm not a believer.
I think they can stay there. Definitely, they need Daniel Jones back and healthy for the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, look, even though they traded away Michael Pittman, you still have Downs, you still have Alec Pierce, you just gave him all that money. You have Tyler Warren, you have Jonathan Taylor. Defensively, they're still pretty sound. The problem is, though, it's just that division is so damn hit or miss. And Jacksonville, I'm sorry, I don't want to get too far into our previews for the divisions later in the summer. I got Jacksonville regressing. They've lost, excuse the loud car going right past the old window there. You lost Travis Etienne. Not calling him A-Chan. Not doing it. His name is Travis Etienne until I'm dead. They did what to replace him? They signed Chris Rodriguez.
They got rid of Tank.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, too.
Got rid of Tank. Devin Lloyd. You did nothing to replace him. That's two pretty important playmakers on both sides of the football that you didn't even attempt to replace. So unless Trevor Lawrence comes out and does what he did last year, I think they'll pass the ball well. They still have Jacoby Myers, they have Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter. It looks like he's going to play more corner than wide receiver. It sounds like. So offensively, I think they'll be okay. They don't really have a run game right now. Defensively, I think they'll be okay. But Devin Lloyd was a playmaker last year. Yeah. And again, those are two important guys that they really didn't do much to try to replace.
And with Tennessee, Robert doesn't have Mickey Mouse and Goofy in the front office sitting there running this ship. I'm sorry.
And I think Tennessee, roster-wise, is the most improved team so far this offseason.
Mm-hmm. Robert's walking into a great situation. I think as much as I was high on the Jets situation, but when you got two goofballs in the front office who are sitting there playing roulette wheels, with one too many balls, what would you expect? I mean, I feel bad for Aaron Glenn.
He'll be back in Detroit with Dan Campbell after they scapegoat him. It's okay. He'll be okay.
Oh my.
But yeah, no, I think Robert's in a much better situation here, and I'm glad he's got. I'm going to say I think he has now more of a fair opportunity than he did with the Jets. I think
I agree. Just because it's not the Jets.
I think this is much more fair, and I think after this season you'll have a very good, fair assessment on how good of a head coach he can really be.
Zolt said Colts are in the cycle where they are trying to reload their roster and stay good, but then you look at Jonathan Taylor and realize that he's already 27 and start to wonder how long do you have this window. Yeah, that's right, because, again, I know, a couple of years ago, teams may pay a running backs cool again, but the shelf life thing is still a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he's one that's hit or miss because he has had injuries, major injuries in the past. So that does make you worry. All right, is his prime going to extend until he's 30 years old? Or is it going to start to close in the next couple of years? That's to be seen. I mean, we see Derrick Henry, 32. He's still putting up 1,600 rushing yard seasons. Not everyone's Derrick Henry.
Right now.
But if you look at something with Tennessee, back to the Titans, every aspect of the roster, they've done something to improve. They've hired Salah. That improves your defense. They've brought in Dable to be their OC. Cam Ward has now got weapons. They already had two solid running backs. You had Tony Pollard. You had Tajay Spears. They drafted Nicholas Singleton, who I think, in a change of pace type of back setting, I think he could find a decent role for him. You look at pass catchers. They brought in Carnell Tate. They brought in Wan'Dale Robinson.
Calvin Ridley will be healthy this year.
They will have a healthy Calvin Ridley, who now, if he's like your wide receiver 3, that's a pretty damn good situation
wide receiver
to have right
3
there.
Who the last 2 full seasons he played had 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, exactly. I think Gunnar Helm
kicking themselves for that right now.
Oh yeah.
I think Gunnar Helm could develop into a very solid tight end. Daniel Bellinger, a tight end, also doesn't hurt. Offensive line, that is an area where they do need to see some improvement. They do have a bunch of young guys that I like. They did draft Pat Coogan, the center out of Indiana. That was one of my guys late in the draft this year I was high on. Kind of wish the Eagles would have took him, but it's okay. J.C. Latham, who they took a couple years ago, still high on him. Dan Moore, they gave that big contract to. Pete Skronowski, who's been one of their better guards. So they're hoping that these guys can come in and have better years than they did last year. But if you look at that, the other side of the football, the defensive side of the football, you look at a defensive line last year. That was Jeffrey Simmons and a whole bunch of nothing. They've added Jordan Elliott, John Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson, Solomon Thomas.
They drafted Keldrick Folk.
They drafted Folk to be at the edge rusher position. Tyler, they took your guy, Anthony Hill, at middle linebacker.
Yeah. which I really like that pick.
Then you go to the secondary. First off, they drafted Bishop Fitzgerald late, which is a steal. But before that, they already had Amani Hooker. And then they go out and they spend a lot of money on Alontae Taylor and who's the other? Cordell Flott. Couldn't remember his freaking name for a second. And they drafted Kevin Winston out of Penn State last year, which coming off an ACL tear, not a lot of production, but I think in a solid system in year 2, I think he'd be a big-time player.
Yep.
Every level of that team, from the coaching staff to the secondary, has gotten an improvement. And I think that defensive front could eat.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, too.
Jermaine Johnson. John Franklin Myers is one of the most underrated defensive linemen in football. And now you're pairing him with one of the best defensive tackles in the sport, and Jeffrey Simmons. They are going to have a loaded defense this year. I think they are going to play out of their minds. Cam Ward's got plenty of weapons now. Like I said, I know a lot of people thought that Tate may have been talent-wise, maybe not up there with Tyson. Maybe some people have Mekhi Lemon over him as well. But again, Tate, we're talking about fit. He fits Cam Ward's play style. Cam Ward likes to get the ball downfield. Carnell Tate does a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
Trust me, from watching almost every Ohio State game over the past few years, even with the amount of talent that they've had at Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith, I'm not taking nothing away from Jeremiah. He's going to be a transcendent talent when he gets to this league. But do you know how easy his job's been when Cardell's taking the top off of a defense and he can operate the whole rest of the field? Cardell Tate and Cam Ward is going to be a match made in heaven.
I believe it.
I'm surprised, honestly. I think Salah should have got more of the vote because I think Tennessee, I'm not saying they're going to go from where they were to first place, but I can make the argument. If Cam Ward takes that step, I can make the argument. I really think you can make that argument that if Cam Ward takes that next step, this is what you could see Tennessee become a really good team.
Yeah, I can see it.
So, by the way, little NBA update. Just shout out to the Cavs. So happy they are showing life with not wanting to get completely swept.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. I got the broom. Come on. I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on the broom. I got the broom ready.
Anthony, I'm always looking for early hot takes from you. Give me your best shot.
I was going to say, I'm waiting for the Cavs to blow this. Come on, dude. I said it. I said it Saturday. I'm like, dude, break out the brooms. Let's go. Hurry up. Put these guys away and drop Harden like a bad habit. Let's go.
The quicker we get eliminated, the quicker LeBron's coming home. It's okay.
Oh, man.
The quicker Harden's out of here.
That's what they're waiting for.
I would much rather, for the next 2 years, I would much rather have a 40-year-old LeBron James than a 36-year-old James Harden, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, we're ready to have the retirement tour. We're ready to prop it up and ready to go. We've already got the marketing department ready. They're all set. They got stuff already drawn up, printed up, T-shirts, the whole 9 yards. We're ready to do the farewell.
Back.
Yeah, we're ready to do the farewell tour. We're ready for it. Hurry up, get eliminated. Let's go. LeBron's just waiting for us to get eliminated so there's no tampering crap involved.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Tampering.
Hurry up. Let's get this butt whooping over with. Let's get this sweeping done with, and let's move on. Yeah, we're ready to do this.
All right, so now that we're out of our head coach talk, which took us well beyond almost 2 hours, which, again, always fun, let's talk about another piece of – let's go back to the Giants for a minute, because not only did the Malik Neighbors thing happen, which that's concerning, they also extended Joe Shane last week, which, as an Eagles fan, I am very happy about.
I'm really thinking.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Joe Shane is not good at his job. I don't care what Giant fans tell you. He's not good at his job. The only reason it looks like he's good at his job is because now there's a head coach that wants say in personnel. And I think basically the ultimatum was, look, we're hiring Harbaugh. Either you work with him and you let him have a lot of say in personnel, or I'm going to have to find a GM that's going to let him do it. And I get it, but I don't know.
I think the conversation was more along the lines of you manage the check sheets and the financials, and Harbaugh's managing the personnel completely. I feel like he doesn't have to run much by Joe Schoen.
I don't either.
And here's the thing. What were you going to do? Go out and look for a new GM who's going to be willing to take on that same role? Or give this ultimatum to Joe Schoen to have him just handle the bare minimum?
So Anthony's hot take is Ravens might finish third. Since he finishes in first, Pittsburgh second. Wow.
I said it earlier. Joe Burrow plays all 17 games. I think they have a shot of winning the division. I don't think it'll be a clean blowout. I don't think they win it by a landslide. But if you're telling me by maybe 2 games, yeah, I could definitely see that.
Oh, I can see by the landslide.
A landslide?
The other 3 teams are in such a mess. It looks like
even Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah. God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. George isn't sold on McCarthy and Rodgers. He thinks that's going to...
No, last year was Pittsburgh's last chance at really getting in there, and I believe that last year I thought they were going to at least push a hard push for the Super Bowl. Wow. And, of course, it didn't happen, and I said it's a shame. It's an absolute shame because they had the talent last year and they just blew it.
But they got better offensively.
They have more talent this year going into this year than they have last year.
But the problem is the head coach and the system are not what the personnel are. And it's going to...
And last year was? They had Mike Tomlin has been anemic.
It got worse. It got worse. I'm sorry. Mike McCarthy proved in Dallas he could not turn around and work with top talent, and now there's no talent practically. It's going to get worse. It's going to be.
They had a 12 offense in Dallas. Dallas literally was winning 11 to 12 games a year under Mike McCarthy, putting up points. The problem was their defense was absolutely atrocious in the playoffs against the Packers. Now, Dak played like crap in that game. Hold on. I'm going to word this very carefully. You see, I know it. I knew this was going to happen. Offensively, take out defense. Offensively, the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, currently constructed, are worse than they were last season.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. They are currently constructed, in your opinion, worse than last season.
Aaron Rodgers is actively on the roster, isn't he?
And how can you... Okay.
Yeah, and Rodgers had a great year last year.
Rodgers, yeah, and now he gets a head coach who's had a lot more offensive success in the past decade than Tomlin has. Tomlin hasn't had offensive success since freaking 2010.
It's all going to be right here, buddy. It's all going to be right.
Trust me, Aaron Rodgers is all up here. We know that.
And it's going to blow up horribly. And it's not good for a locker room, especially for a young locker room like that. It's going to get ugly quickly.
That could be the case, but look, I'm not talking off the field.
Michael Pittman got paid, but I mean, Michael Pittman's even sitting there looking around that locker room already going, did I get myself into here? I feel bad for Michael Pittman right now. I really do.
He's in a good situation. He's playing next to DK Metcalf. They got the kid Bernard out of Bama.
Well,
I mean, they're all going to get their touches.
I'm not. No. See, hold on. Now, we're going in 2 different directions here. I am not disagreeing that the Aaron Rodgers thing could be an implosion. I'm not disagreeing with that because it's Aaron Rodgers. He's on a darkness retreat. And listen, if there are two athletes who I need a 30 for 30 done on what goes on in their heads, or if I need two athletes to ever start a podcast together, it's Aaron Rodgers and Dennis Rodman. I need those two to do something. That would be the greatest podcast known to man.
Wow.
Oh my God.
We would call it Darkness Vegas Retreats. That's what we would call it. But I'm okay. Look, I'm okay with that, saying that it could implode because of Aaron Rodgers and that whole. But you sat there just now and said on the field, we're talking on the field, that the Steelers are currently constructed worse now than they were last year, where they only had one legit pass catcher. Their second best pass catcher made me $5 richer last year. Thanks, Pat Fryermuth. And you're sitting here telling me that after adding Michael Pittman to DK Metcalf, who easily is the second best wide receiver they've had compared to last year, they draft Bernard to put him in wide receiver 3. Their run game is better because Rico Dowdle is there, and you're telling me, and Mike McCarthy, who has got a lot more offensive success since 2015 compared to Mike Tomlin, you're telling me they are constructed worse?
Because DK Metcalf will not fit in his system.
Oh my God.
Not physically, mentally. He will be checked out of this. I don't think DK Metcalf has a very good year at all. I think they will have to rely more on Pittman because DK will have such a mental breakdown because he just can't get with the program. That's what I believe happened in Seattle, and that's why he wanted out of Seattle. Is because
sounds like a guy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It sounds like a guy he played with at Ole Miss, huh? Something in the water in Ole Miss.
Oh man,
I'm not saying names. I'm
just explaining that is what I see. I really do, and I think that's the big problem with DK. And that's why I'm thinking, man, this is not going to go well. And that implosion could, like I said, it could have a big effect on this whole locker room, especially with all that young group in there. It's just not good. It's not going to be healthy. On paper, like we said, it's on paper. It's on paper right now. On paper, yeah, it looks pretty solid.
So you're right. We have said that the past 3 years.
Yeah, and Cowboys fans have been saying it's their year for a championship for the last 30.
Yeah. But like I said, on paper, that's one thing. But when it has to come time to actually execute, this could be seriously worse.
We're going to have to wait and see because that just got heated for a second there.
Hey, like they used to say, hey, let's put a pin in it. We just put a pin in it and come back to it in 6 months.
Let's definitely. And when that happens, I'll just
You can sit there and we can all just sit there and go, what the hell happened?
Anthony, I don't ever forget an Ole Miss wide receivers drama. I have AJ Brown.
I'm not too worried about DK because at least he's not the only option now this year.
Yeah.
Like last year, it was him or nothing.
Right.
Kenneth Gainwell was their third. He had the third most receptions on the team.
Mm-hmm. Since you're running back.
Yeah, you're running back. That should tell you all you needed to know about how the Steelers were constructed last year. So, yeah, if Pittman does have to be the number one guy, great.
At least he can do it. The role.
Exactly.
Used to the role, so he can handle the pressure. Now, granted, he was in the South, not in the North. It's going to be a little trickier, but hey, you'll see a little bit more snow. That's for sure. Just a little.
The chat has set ablaze on this conversation.
Glad to see Mother Nature made an appearance.
Don't talk to Mother Nature. I haven't seen the sun in like 4 days.
Don't worry, you'll get it tomorrow.
Thank God.
You didn't block it out with your big head?
I'm not doing this with you right now. Anthony, this is like I said. What did I say, Tyler? What did I say on Birds over the past 2 weeks? I would recycle my wide receivers every 5 years. As soon as that first year comes up for the big payday, biggest diva position in football. It's all of them. The only one I can say difference is Justin Jefferson, who literally had diary of a wimpy kid throwing him the ball last year.
Wow.
And didn't say a word.
I'd throw Cooper Kupp in that conversation.
Yeah, Cooper's not. Yeah, I mean, Cooper isn't no longer in LA for that. Cooper they got rid of him because his body broke down on him.
No, but I'm saying as far as still a contributory receiver.
Yeah, not
doesn't cause waves. Isn't a diva in the locker room.
Speaking of LA, Matthew Stafford last week. 1 year, $55 million extension, worth up to $60 million with incentives. Now up to his contract is now 2 years for $105. That is his remaining deal with the Rams. Gentlemen, do we believe this is the beginning of what is going to be the end of the Matthew Stafford era? Do we think after this contract is up?
Well, they drafted Ty Simpson at 13, didn't they?
That doesn't mean crap. Aaron Rodgers had for 3 years before he even got to play consistently.
And they had to jack that rate up because of the jock tax over there. So that's 3/4 of that just goes to the taxes.
That is a good point. But I think that, this most likely is the last contract that Matthew Stafford plays through. I think he'll call it a career.
And then he'll see a yellow jacket.
Yeah, he will. He will be, when it's all said and done, he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep, I'll see him right down the freeway. Yep, without any hesitation. And I think a lot of Detroit fans will make that road trip too.
Oh yeah, they probably will. And I mean, this roster's still very well constructed to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because I think that the thing was on draft night when the three of us were here and we did the draft reaction show, we talked about how great their roster is. That why would you take a quarterback there with Ty Simpson? But that's the point, though. Their roster is so they have no flaws, so they are able to use a draft pick that high on their quarterback of the future because they don't need anything. What is a weakness on that team? I got nothing.
Safety?
I don't know. Yeah. No. Well, here's the thing. I would have said corner, but they addressed that.
Yeah.
They got McDuffie, and they were like, oh, you know what? Let's just bring the guy who played next to him all those years, too. So they don't have a weakness now. I love Cameron Kitchens and Cam Curl back at safety. I don't see a weak spot on their defense from top to bottom.
Don't forget Quentin Lake.
And
Quentin Lake.
And remember,
they love their three safety sets.
Oh my gosh.
And a couple of years ago, the Rams drafted another quarterback. It's like every couple of years they're drafting a quarterback.
Oh, who? Stetson Bennett, that bum out of Georgia? Get out of here, George.
I'm just saying, they keep drafting a quarterback. They need somebody to sit on the bench.
Stetson Bennett.
You got to have somebody back there.
Ty Simpson,
when they had Baker Mayfield for a little bit, that was kind of exciting. Not gonna lie.
That was the best thing for Baker Mayfield's career.
Yeah,
turned it around.
Yeah.
Zolt said Ty Simpson showed up to minicamp and the GM said, we need to hang on the mat another year.
I think going into them drafting him, they knew it was not an immediate thing.
Well, like I said, I think also what probably happened is they had to sit down with Stafford and said, look, we want to prepare ourselves for whatever's going to happen. How many years do you realistically think you're going to play?
Yeah.
So
you're good, George. You just got the little restream refresh.
What?
It's a feature, not a bug.
It's a feature, he said. No, don't let him fool you. He got so mad that you brought up Stenson Bennett, he kicked you for a second. But no, they probably had to sit down with Stafford and said, how many more years do you realistically think you are going to play? He probably said probably at least 2. And I said, okay, well, here, we'll extend your contract and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think this is the last contract that Stafford gets from the Rams. I think it's coming to an end after 2027. Anthony, the new year to his contract is the extension. 2026 was the last year on his deal. Now it's 2027. Yep. So they did give him he got a very nice, generous 1-year extension, which, again, so 2027 after that's probably it for Stafford.
Oh, unless he decides to do one of those one-day deals with the Lions.
I thought about that. Would he want to retire a Lion? I actually don't know, though.
Here's the other good question: who's he going in the Hall of Fame with? Because he has been a top tier quarterback with both organizations. Yes. One just failed him. One just failed him.
Yeah. One failed so bad, made Calvin Johnson retire early.
They made Barry retire early. They make everybody retire early back then. No, look, like George said, that will go down as the most even trade of all time. The Rams have got a Super Bowl and a great run with Stafford. And this is the best stretch the Lions have had in God knows how long. Yeah. And honestly, it kind of turned the Lions organization around of them saying, well, we screwed that quarterback up. Let's not screw this one up. Mm-hmm. It did turn into being a trade that really did just work out for both teams. Yeah, right. Stafford. Well, Rodgers did finally announce that this will be his last year. And I don't even think he was happy. I just think all of us were happy, where we don't have to sit here. And by this time, what I'm going to be so grateful for next offseason?
The 2 things darkness retreat, we don't have to wait for him.
No, I will not have to listen to the Schefter, Rappaport, Garofolo, or Pelissero tweets of Steelers are still waiting for Aaron Rodgers and the Patriots and A.J. Brown. Those are the 2 things I can cleanse my timeline with after June and after this season. I'm so sick of hearing about both of them.
I thought that was supposed to be a done deal. What happened?
Ain't June 1st yet. And no, so it's a spot on. The Rams got a Super Bowl, potentially maybe another one before it's all said and done. And the Lions got a window of success that they haven't had in a long time.
Honestly, and the Lions almost made it.
I still think the Lions have a good shot. As long as they keep building that roster the way they have, they will be just fine. So.
As long as they don't run into Washington.
Okay, in defense, the Lions were on like their 3rd string defensive player at every single freaking position in that game.
It doesn't matter. If you say Washington, all Lions fans cringe because it's just this weird jinx. I lived there for a while. I've been told, I've seen it, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all.
That's what we are calling me. The torches. All right. All right, gentlemen. Do we want to introduce our brand new segment?
No.
Okay. Well, for anybody that didn't know, we introduced a new segment on hitting home 2 weeks ago called Beat the Grid. So we decided, why not bring that over here to Unbiased as well? So, gentlemen, here's the grid. So basically, let's see. We have 9 guesses to get all this stuff right. Now, I will just say, the obvious answer is okay, but you want to try to get answers that have a lower percentage of being guessed. Unless you can think of none. So, let's just start off here. Someone who played for the Chargers and the Bears. We already know the obvious answer, but can we think of somebody else that would be a little less obvious? And if someone in the chat comes up with one of the grids, I will be giving them I will type
I
in their
got
answer.
2 for the Bears Chargers. Keenan Allen or
Okay.
Khalil Mack. They're probably both going to be higher up on the percentage tier.
I was going to say Mac was kind of the obvious, but Keenan Allen, I think, was the lower. I think Keenan Allen was probably lower than Mac was.
So would we like to put Keenan Allen?
Because I forgot about Keenan being on the Bears for a minute.
Is that the guess? Is that the guess we want to go with?
What, you got anything else?
No, I got nothing. It's either Khalil Mack or Keenan Allen for me. So, yep, we'll go Keenan Allen for this one.
Might be a lot of Allens on that list.
Nah, he's right here. 24%?
Okay. That's good. Khalil Mack definitely would have been higher.
Oh, yeah.
Khalil's probably over 50.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All right, so now we have – here's the one that I want to get. Give me 50-plus sacks and record it an interception. Can someone give me that?
One name I want to throw off the top that I know who has definitely done it, J.J. Watt. But I know he's got to be an insanely high percentage of guess. So I don't want to go with that one.
Without an old joke crossing my mind, I would say it's nice to have our good old buddy down there because no, I'm serious because
okay.
2000 and before that, you're like speaking Greek to me.
I was gonna go with Reggie White, but okay.
Reggie's probably way high up there on the guessing poll. I also thought about Lawrence Taylor.
It depends on when, who was creating the grid.
I got a name for you. Dominican Sue. He played a long time in the NFL. Surely he's had to have gotten at least one interception in his career, right?
Do we want to take that risk? Now we will get extra guesses if we get one wrong. It just won't count toward our overall performance.
I feel like I remember seeing some insane highlight of Ndamukong Suh getting some interception, off a tip pass or something.
George, do you want to go with his guess here?
I was going to say, yeah, and backdate it a little bit more. Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, so we're going with Ndamukong Suh. And I just completely messed up my microphone, so hold on. Oh, boy, Tyler, you better be right.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh,
he was
right.
What's the percent on that?
Yeah, close that
stupid
commercial window. Close that stupid little window next to it.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
0.9. Boy, you couldn't get any better than that right there, buddy.
No. Tyler and I did an NBA one on Thursday. I got one that had 0.5%.
Sam's ridiculous. I don't even know how he do that guy. No idea. Wow, okay.
That's good. That's real good.
And guys in the chat, if you got a guess you want to throw out, please do.
Yeah, we'll need some help for some of these. Throw some out there. Man, that's probably the best guess I'm going to have all night.
I was going to say, that's really good.
Trying to think of, all right, Falcons and have recorded an interception.
Dude, we got to think of a weird one for the Falcons.
I was going to say Deion Sanders is going to be weird.
Yeah, that's got to be high up.
That is going to be way up there.
How about Keanu Neal?
That's probably not a highly guessed one.
Want to take a shot with Keanu?
Sure, why not?
George, do you have any rebuttals?
No.
All right, we'll take a shot with Keanu. Watch, he had like none. All right, where the? Oh yeah,
There's
this
no
is,
way
oh,
he
there,
didn't have a single interception.
there he is.
Oh,
There we.
2%.
All right. Anybody have a guess where we want to go next?
Do we want to tackle that last recorded interception for the Bears, or do we want to go down to somewhere else?
We can go with the Bears.
All right, let's try and go for that one. I don't want an obvious one.
Yeah, I was going to say you stay away from Urlacher.
Stay away from Urlacher.
You
Stay
know,
away
I
from
feel like-
Tillman.
Honestly, Urlacher wouldn't be everyone's first guess, just because I feel like most people would be trying to guess guys in the secondary. What would be good, though, if we could think of some defensive linemen that may have recorded one for them.
Would Julius Peppers have recorded one?
The thing is, I would it have had to have been just in their career, right? It doesn't have to have been with the Bears.
Yes, it would have just been they had to have recorded an interception and played for the Chicago Bears. C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
That's an easy one. What about
Is it?
Jaquan Brisker? He's not a popular name.
You want? Okay.
I'm also trying to think how many interceptions have I seen him get before.
He's
Surely
definitely
had one.
it's just recorded one. He's only needed to record one in his career. Anthony, so yes, we all agreed that Urlacher's probably there, but the thing is, you want to try to get the percent. If you look at the guesses we've made already, the lower the percentage, the better of a report, the better you get on your record for it. I mean, do we want to go with Jaquan Brisker?
George?
Yeah, that's fine.
There he is. There you go. 4%. Nice job.
Okay.
Okay, just because I had to verify, I was pretty damn sure, and I know that probably nobody and their brother remembers it, but Jeff Blake played for the Bengals, and he played a season as a Bear. So I'm going to say that I just confirmed. I was like, yes, he did get one season in as a Bear. I thought for sure because he wasn't Cincinnati long enough that him and Tim Couch were the draftees for that draft. So, but yeah, I'm going to say Jeff Blake is your dude for your Bengals and Bears. I was pretty damn sure he did play a season for the Bears.
Tyler, any rebuttals?
No rebuttals from me.
All right. There he is.
Oh, nice. We got a no picture. Yeah, we got a no picture.
Yeah, buddy.
Good guess.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, the only Falcons and Bengal I can think of is Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates. Ah, man. Could
Really?
there be another?
Wasn't Trey Flowers?
I don't think Flowers ever. All right, so we're at Bengals. Oh, Anthony.
That's a
That's
name, yes. He 100% played for both teams.
I know he did. I was just
That's a great name. Oh, a lot of people. Oh, a lot of people thought about that. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot of people thought of that one.
Man.
That's gonna hurt.
That's why I didn't want to go with Jesse Bates.
Yeah, Bates might have been higher, honestly.
But still, good guess, Anthony.
I was gonna say that's I was hoping Flowers might be because I think Flowers was just 1 year.
All right, so we're down to 50 plus sacks who played with the Bengals or the Chargers, and we need a Falcon who played also with the Chargers.
All Bengals, an easy, obvious choice is Hendrickson.
I got your Bengal, your Charger Falcon, by the way. Eric Metcalf.
Say that again?
Eric Metcalf. Yes, he does have family relation to DK. He was the Cleveland Browns' big-time running back. Went to San Diego, but also had turned around and gotten a stint with the Atlanta Falcons.
Eric Metcalf.
There he is.
Yep.
Oh, man. George showing age with that one.
Just pulling these old guys out of my butt. What can I say? It helps to be a little bit older for this game, doesn't it? It definitely helps to be a little bit older for this game.
Just a bit.
I don't want to go with.
I don't want to go with Hendrickson or Khalil Mack.
Or Bosa.
I also wouldn't want to go with the Hall of Famer either because he's going to rack up a high percentage too.
It doesn't. They didn't need to. Remember, it doesn't have to be 50 plus sacks with that team. They just had to have played at least one game or season with that team.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
So
sit there and go Munoz when everybody and their brother knows him.
Mm.
It's like that's not a good move.
a Charger, someone who played with the Chargers and who had 50 plus sacks in their career. Okay, these are going to be interesting.
They are. Trying to think outside the box makes it tough.
Oh, I got one for the Bengals.
Shoot.
Carlos Dunlap.
Dunlap. I knew there was a name I was forgetting from those little older Bengals teams.
Or Geno Atkins.
Hmm.
Oh, Anthony. Sean Merriman.
No, that's going to be a high one.
Oh, all right. So, wait, are we cool with the Carlos Dunlap pick for the Bengals?
That's going to be way too high.
I can't think of the Bengals. The Bengals don't have a lot of good players.
It's gonna be lower than Trey Hendrickson.
That's for sure. Because I just looking it up, dude. No, it's Dunlap, Atkins, and Hendrickson are the top three dudes. You're screwed picking any of those three.
So we just got to think of someone that people might have forgot.
Got to think about somebody old.
All right, so we got to think of some. Again, they could have played one season in Cincinnati. It doesn't matter. So who could fit that criteria? See, the problem is the Bengals don't care about their defense. That's the thing that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to like Andy Dalton type days.
That would have been your Dunlap.
No, yes, I know that. I'm trying to think if there's someone like that played like on a 1-year deal for a year there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember too many one and dones from those eras for the Bengals.
Neither do I.
Hey, no, if we got to settle, I'm cool with Atkins or Dunlap.
I'll go with we'll go Dunlap because being a defensive end. But I'm trying to think about it. Who else could there be?
I was going to say, because they haven't kept sack records that long.
That's
That's what makes it hard. Is because they hadn't really kept sack records that long. So it's like whoever you pick, they're going to be a high percentage.
What if we pick Carlos Dunlap and he didn't have 50 career sacks?
Oh my, that'd be
No, he did.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. I really don't.
Dunlap's 82.5, Atkins 75.5, and Hendrickson 61. All in a season. And Dunlap leads it with the 82.5, Atkins with 75.5. So any of those
two Atkins,
you're gonna get.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Yeah, because Eddie Edwards only 47.5, so he's your next man. So you've only got 3 dudes to choose from. So it's got to be one of those 3. That's all you get.
Yeah, because I can't think of any guys that played for 1 year in Cincinnati, like signed a 1-year deal with the Bengals and just had 50 career sacks.
They would have never paid somebody.
You've got to pick one of those 3.
All right. Well, what's our verdict?
Atkins.
Okay. There he is.
Wow. Man, 11%. We did all that overthinking.
How about that?
That's a good
Not
one.
terrible.
You got the right one.
Ooh.
Okay.
Anthony's guess for Chargers. That's interesting. Did Junior Seau eclipse 50 career sacks?
Yeah, but everybody and their brother is going to pick that one. The most famous Charger of all. You were trying to go away from that. Yes.
Yeah, honestly, I don't.
Joey Bosa.
This is going to be the tough one. This is going to be the tough one. Chargers, 50-plus sacks. Yeah, no idea.
The one that pops up here is Lee Williams, had 65.5. Ain't nobody going to come up with that dude. Nobody's going to come up with Lee Williams.
Lee Williams?
Yeah.
Melvin Ingram's the name I thought about. I don't know. Did he get there, though?
No. He was short. He was short 40. He had to be in the high 40s, but he never, I don't think he ever was in the conversation of a 50. Never.
Do we want to take George's guess of Lee Williams?
Yeah.
Hey, go 3 for 3. Why not, right?
All right. Well, of course. Look at the timeline when he played. There we go.
What was the percent on that one?
0.2%.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, so George's guesses all had no pictures, which means it was before the age of digital cameras.
Yes, it actually was. Yeah, because Jeff Blake would have been the most recent one in 99 to 2004. So yeah, Yeah, that would be right.
Oh my!
Hey, at least you can rely on the old man for something, right?
Anthony said, "George, would you invent this?" Oh my!
All
man.
right, now we're going over to soccer. Nope.
No, we are definitely not doing that. Next week we'll have an NBA one to do because I think we're gonna get back into some NBA talk next week with the finals
That was
starting
fun.
next
That was good.
Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah.
That was good. That was very good. Some outside the box thinking. Anthony was on a roll. Like I said, I know the percentage was high, but the Muhammad Sanu poll
I
was a
gotta
good
look
one.
up Junior CL now. I want to see.
Oh my goodness. Overall, though, a very good beat the grid. Got it. Got on the front with no extra guessing.
Yeah, Junior CL
Yeah.
total career 56.5.
Melvin Ingram 49. Would have missed it by one.
Wow.
I would have been
That would've been
so
tough.
Would have missed it by
absolutely
one.
pissed.
Oh man, would have missed it by one. Oof.
And again, we could have said Khalil Mack, but again, that's a high percentage
Or
guess.
Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa would have been very high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and my Melvin. I knew Melvin was about high 40s. It's like yeah, because he did it a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I saved us.
It did save us.
Saved us. Got the 0.2 instead. Lowest one yet.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right, guys. With that being said, I think that's going to do it for tonight here on Unbiased. Absolutely awesome show. Knocked out a bunch of head coaching talk. Knocked out some Giants news, which could be good or bad, depending on how you look at the Giants with Joe Shane. Talked a little bit of the Staffords talk. Did a little beat the grid. And gave you guys 2.5 hours of absolutely unbiased NFL talk. For the rest of the week, George, are we back tomorrow?
At the moment, yes.
All righty. Well, guys.
Back on tomorrow. Probably I'm estimating a 9 p.m. start time.
Sounds good. So, guys, DA After Dark tomorrow night at 9. We have Hitting Home Wednesday morning at 10. And then Birds of the Gridiron is back on Friday at 8. So, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Once again, if you can't catch the show live, you can always go back on 609's Facebook and YouTube pages to go check them out. Hit that like and subscribe. And once again, thank you to everybody who helped us reach that 1,000 followers mark yesterday. We greatly appreciate all of you. And we couldn't do this stuff without you guys. But for that, we are going to call it a night. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Memorial Day. Once again, thank you to all the men and women who have made that sacrifice to fight for our freedom, and we greatly appreciate all of you. But with that being said, have a good night, guys, and we will see you tomorrow night. For George G3, Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?